Welcome back, everybody, to another lesson. Today we're going to talk about adding mixed numbers. And adding them is actually not too bad. How do we go about adding them? Well, let's start with the first example here. So if I give you something like 20 plus 8 3/4, what you can do with that, the 20 plus 8 3/4, is you could separate these numbers. So you'll have 20 plus 8 plus 3/4. You could separate the whole number and the fraction from each other. And then what you'll have is just simply add from left to right. So 20 plus 8 is 28. So you'll have 28 plus 3/4. And if you do 28 plus 3/4, you'll get 28 3/4. And 28 3/4 would be your answer. So yeah, you could subtract the fractions from the whole numbers. Alright. That one wasn't so bad. Okay, how about something like this? We got 2 7/8 plus 3 5/8. So alright, 2 7/8 plus 3 5/8. Again, what you'll do, start by separating your whole numbers from the fractions. So you'll have 2 plus 3 plus 7/8 plus 5/8. You can separate them very easily. Now this doesn't look so bad. What you need to do now that you have your whole number separated, just focus on adding the fractions together. Well, this one's nice because you have both fractions as the same denominator, so you can go ahead and add them. So this will work out to be 2 plus 3 plus 12/8. Alright, now that 12/8, we can factor out some numbers from that. We can factor out a common 4. 4 is a common factor to both 12 and 8. So if you divide the numerator by 4, you'll get, here's what you'll have. You'll have 2 plus 3 plus, 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now you'll have 2 plus 3 plus 3/2. So now what you have to do, that 3/2 is an improper fraction. We want the answer as a mixed number. So on the side, go ahead and work out what 3/2 is. What is 3/2? So we'll take 3 and divide that by 2. 3 divided by 2, well, 2 goes into 3 once. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So you will have 1 as your whole number. That remainder of 1 is your numerator. The divisor 2 is your denominator. So you'll have 1 1/2. So it's going to work out to 2 plus 3 plus 1 1/2. Okay. Well, now we can separate the 1 1/2 from each other. So you'll have 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus half. Which now it's just a simple addition problem. 2 plus 3 is 5. So make sure you can see all this. So yeah, 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 1 plus 1/2. So 5 plus 1 is 6. You'll have 6 plus 1/2, which, as your final answer, is just going to give you 6 1/2. And that would be your answer to this problem, is 6 1/2. Alright, I have more problems here. Biggest thing to remember, you can when adding mixed numbers, when we go to subtract them, multiply, and divide them, we're going to do it a little bit differently. But only for adding them, you can separate them out. You can separate fractions from the whole numbers to make your life easier. Alright, so we got, let's see here, 4 and 5/6 plus 3 and 5/6. Alright, so once again, start by separating your whole numbers and fractions. You have a whole number of 4 plus a whole number of 3. Then you have your two fractions of 5/6. So yeah, separate the 4 and the 3, then you'll have your two fractions of 5/6. So now, let's focus on adding the fractions. They have the same denominator, so we can just go ahead and add them. So you'll have 4 plus 3, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 10/6. Well, 10 and 6, we know that there's a common 2 that can factor out, so you'll have 4 plus 3. Now if you divide 10 by 2, you get 5. You divide 6 by 2, you get 3. So you're left with 4 plus 3 plus 5/3. Once again, we have an improper fraction. We need to convert that to a mixed number. So let's go ahead and work that out on the side. What is 5 divided by 3? So 3 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So your answer to that, in the mixed number form, you'll have 1 for your whole number. That remainder of 2 is your numerator. That divisor of 3 is your denominator. So 1 and 2/3 is the mixed number form of that. So you'll have 4 plus 3 plus 1 and 2/3. So then again, we can separate the whole number from the fraction. You will have 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2/3. And we're almost done here. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So you'll have 7 plus 1 plus 2/3. So 7 plus 1, that's 8. So you'll have 8 plus 2/3, which will give you a final answer of, well, 8 and 2/3. And 8 and 2/3 would be your final answer to this problem. Alright, got 3 more problems here. So let's say I have 1 and 1/4 plus 1 and 2/3. Okay, well again, start by separating out your whole numbers and fractions. So your whole numbers are 1 plus 1/4 plus 2/3. Okay. What we need to do now is find a common denominator for 1/4 and 2/3. Well, 3 is not a factor of 4. We need to find the least common multiple. Well, I could tell you right now, to save us the steps, the least common multiple of 4 and 3 is 12. You can go through, write out your least common multiples on the side. You'll figure out it's 12. I'm just going to save us a little bit of work here. So you'll have 1 plus 1 plus, okay, now we need to deal with the 1/4. We need to convert that 4 into a 12. How do we do that? Multiply by 3. So you have 4 times 3 for your denominator, but you'll have 1 times 3 for your numerator. Plus, now we need to deal with that 2/3. To convert 3 to 12, we need to multiply by 4. So you'll have 3 times 4 for your denominator, then you'd have 2 times 4 for your numerator. Okay, now we're going to go through. You'll have 1 plus 1 plus, now work through your multiplication. What is 1 times 3? That's 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 3/12 plus, what is 2 times 4? That's 8. 3 times 4, well, that's going to be 12. Now we could simply add these fractions up, and now we have the same denominator. It's going to be 3 plus 8, so that's going to equal 1 plus 1 plus 11/12. And 11/12 is already in a simplified form. We can't simplify it anymore, and we have a proper fraction, so we're just about done. You have 1 plus 1, add those together, you'll have 2 plus 11/12. Well, 2 plus 11/12, well, that's going to be 2 and 11/12. So 2 and 11/12 would be your final answer to this equation. I have 2 more problems here. All right. 8 3/4 plus 5 5/6. All right, so 8 3/4 plus 5 5/6. So once again, we'll start by separating the fractions and the whole numbers from each other. 8's a whole number, plus 5, that's a whole number. Then you'll have plus 3/4 plus 5/6. Alright. Once again, we see 4 is not a factor of 6, so we got to come up with the least common denominator. Again, to save you time, I can tell you that 4 and 6 have a least common multiple of 12, so your common denominator is going to be 12. So you will separate it still 8 plus 5, but we need to convert the 3/4. So to convert 4 into 12, we multiply by 3. So you'll have 4 times 3 as your denominator, which means you'll have 3 times 3 as your numerator, plus, now we got to deal with 5, 6. In order to convert 6 into 12, we multiply by 2. So you'll have 6 times 2 as your denominator, which means you'll have 5 times 2 as your numerator. So now we'll go through here. You'll have 8 plus 5 plus, what is 3 times 3? That's 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So you'll have 9/12 plus, what is 5 times 2? That's 10. 6 times 2, that is 12. Now that we have the same denominator, we can go ahead and add up the fractions. So you'll have 8 plus 5. So 9 plus 10 is 19. So 8 plus 5 plus 19/12. Okay. Now we need to convert the 19/12 into a mixed number. Let's work that out on the side. Let's do some long division. 19 divided by 12. 12 goes into 19 how many times? 1 time. 1 times 12 is 12. So 19 minus 12, well, that's 7. So it looks to be that your mixed number form, you'll have a whole number of 1. The remainder 7 is your numerator. The divisor 12 is your denominator. So you'll have 1 and 7/12 as your mixed number for the 19/12. So now you'll add 8 plus 5 plus 1 and 7/12. Which, again, we separate the whole numbers and the fractions. You'll have 8 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7/12. Now it's a matter of simple addition. 8 plus 5 is 13. So you'll have 13 plus 1 plus 7/12. Alright, well, 13 plus 1, that is 14. You'll have 14 plus 7/12, which then you add the two together, your final answer is going to be 14 and 7/12. That would give you your final answer, 14 and 7/12. And got one more problem here. Just one more. So you'll have 14 and 5/8 plus 10 and 5/6. Alright. Yeah, 14 and 5/8 plus 10 and 5/6. Again, separate your whole numbers and fractions. So 14 is the whole number, plus 10 is a whole number. So then you have plus 5/8 plus 5/6. Alright, so we've separated our fractions and whole numbers. Now we need to add the fractions. So 6 is not a factor of 8. We need to find the least common multiple. Well, we can go ahead and work through the least common multiple part, but I can tell you the least common multiple of 8 and 6 is 24. So we need to convert these into 24 for the denominator. So you'll have 14 plus 10. Alright, now we need to deal with the 5/8. To convert 8 into 24, you multiply by 3. So you'll have 8 times 3 in your denominator, which means you'll have 5 times 3 in your numerator. Now we got to deal with the 5/6. In order to convert 6 into 24, you multiply by 4. So you have 6 times 4, which means you have to do 5 times 4 because you got to do it to the numerator too. Alright. Now we go ahead here. We'll have 14 plus 10. Alright, so what is 5 times 3? That's 15. 8 times 3 is 24. So you have 15 24ths plus, what is 5 times 4? Well, that's 20. 6 times 4 is 24. Alright, so you'll have 14 plus 10 plus 15 24ths plus 20 24ths. We can at least add the fractions now, seeing as we have the same denominator. So that's going to give you 14 plus 10. So 15 plus 20 is 35. You'll have 35 24ths. But we want the answer as a mixed number because we have an improper fraction. So we need to figure out 35 divided by 24. So let's work that out on the side. I can erase this here. 35 divided by 24. 24 goes into 35 how many times? Once. So 1 times 24 is 24. Do your subtraction. You'll have 5 minus 4 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay. So it looks like 1's going to be your whole number. That 11 as the remainder will be your numerator. And that 24, that divisor, will be your denominator. You'll have 1 and 11 24ths. So again, you'll have 14 plus 10 plus 1 and 11 24ths. Now we're almost done. We got a form we can work with for the mixed number. So we would separate this. You have 14 plus 10 plus a whole number of 1 plus the fraction of 11 24ths. Alright, now we go through, add all our whole numbers. 14 plus 10 is 24. You'll have 24 plus 1 plus 11 24ths. So 24 plus 1 plus 11 24ths. Add 24 and 1, you'll get 25 plus the 11/24. So it looks to be that your final answer is going to be 25 and 11/24. I'll square that here. All right. 25, whoops, you can't see it. It's out of view. Hold on a second. Looks like your final answer is going to be 25 and 11/24. After doing all the addition and everything, 25 and 11/24 is your final answer. And really, that's all there is to adding these fractions. So next lesson, we will be doing subtracting mixed numbers. We got to do those a little differently than what we did today, because sometimes it doesn't work out quite as nicely as simply adding them. So that's it for today's lesson. I hope everyone has a good day. Take care.